Tonight on KGW News, a man dies in police custody.
It just pisses me off. That guy does not need to be dead right now.
New body cam footage shows why officers were so frustrated. Plus, it's been 3 years, but the pain lingers.
To come up and find everything you ever owned gone.
How some Oregon families who lost their homes to wildfires are getting some financial help. And later, she's making hockey history.
In the back of my mind, I was like, that would be so cool to play for them someday.
The 15-year-old high school sophomore now on the ice with the Portland Winterhawks.
This is KGW News at 11.
Well, thanks so much for joining us at 11 on this Friday night. I'm David Molko. We begin tonight getting you caught up on your latest headlines. We now know the name of the man killed by police near Mall 205. He is 33-year-old Tyrone Lee Johnson II. Police say on Wednesday Johnson tried to shoplift from the Target and also had an outstanding warrant for his arrest. Surveillance video shows him running through the parking lot. Police say after this there was a confrontation and 3 officers fired shots. Investigators say they found a gun next to Johnson's body, but they have not said if he pointed it at them. Johnson was a convicted felon and couldn't legally have a gun. In Gresham, one person has died after they were hit by a vehicle this evening while crossing the street. Police say the pedestrian was struck while crossing southeast 182nd around 5:15. They say the person was not using a crosswalk. Authorities say an off-duty paramedic tried to help the victim, but she died from her injuries. The driver involved remained at the scene. This is Gresham's 15th traffic fatality of the year. And Multnomah County's ban on flavored tobacco is now on hold. Today, the Oregon Court of Appeals issued a stay on that ban just 3 days before it was set to take effect. After a county judge ruled the ban could go forward, tobacco and vaping groups asked the Oregon court for an emergency pause on the order while they appealed. Tonight, lawsuits brought by vineyards and wineries seeking damages from the 2020 Oregon wildfires are being allowed to proceed. Several Willamette Valley wineries claim Pacific Corp is responsible for the fires that blanketed the valley with smoke and in turn is liable for the damage to their crops and their losses in wine sales. They include Willamette Valley Vineyards, Elk Cove, and Brigadoon. Pacific Corp refutes those allegations and sought to have the suits thrown out, but was unsuccessful in court. The company has already been ordered to pay more than $90 million to homeowners impacted by the 2020 wildfires. And Pacific Corp has settled out of court with homeowners and timber companies for more than $500 million. Additional lawsuits are still pending. And now to some hope for those impacted by the wildfires that destroyed more than 5,000 homes and structures from Jackson to Clackamas counties. The state is now working to reimburse many of those families who, years later, are still trying to recover. Sydney Dorner with that story.
Families here in Detroit, Oregon say their worlds were turned completely upside down by the 2020 Labor Day wildfires. They are hoping money from the state can bring back liveliness and the sense of community they miss.
Although it's been 3 years, it's right there.
Lee Lehman can still remember the moment she came back to her restaurant and home after the 2020 fire in Detroit to find all of it was gone. Lee had owned her home and restaurant in town for decades.
To come up and find everything you ever owned gone.
3 years later, a new state program now bringing some hope to people like Lee who lost everything. The Homeowners Assistance and Reconstruction Program will be the first funding through the state, offering $422 million for people to rebuild, repair, or replace their homes. While Lehman is hopeful for what the funding can bring others, she says she's determined to make it on her own.
I'm a proud person, and I won't ask for help. I'm just trying to put things together so we can make it.
Greg Shepard is another longtime Detroit homeowner. He says he's still waiting to rebuild.
It was a hard time getting contractors. They're all pretty busy, so and the prices for materials went up so high that's another reason why I waited. I just wanted to see if prices might come down, and they seem to be coming down now.
Overall, the people here in Detroit say they plan to stay for the long run, hoping they can bring back the joyful energy the town once had.
It's something that never leaves you, but I hope that the people obviously believe in Detroit. We have so much growth going and so many people rebuilding, and they're beautiful homes. And you can't kill the lake community. It's a place that's close enough and just far enough away from town that people can come up and enjoy.
Sydney Dorner, KGW News.
New tonight, body camera video from Milwaukee police is shedding new light on a death in police custody. The 26-year-old man who died was found unresponsive in the back of a patrol car earlier this month. That says police were taking him to a behavioral health facility after Providence Milwaukee Hospital refused him additional care and called officers to intervene. Alma McCarty went through the nearly 2 hours of video for us. Alma, what'd you learn?
Well, David, a warning to viewers tonight. Parts of this video are just very difficult to watch and may be distressing to some. The Milwaukee Police Department said in a release that they are sharing it in its entirety due to, quote, their commitment to the highest level of transparency. Police did blur portions of the video, they say, to protect privacy of those not involved in the incident.
On the night of December 12th, Milwaukee police arrive at Providence Milwaukee's ER. Hospital staff explain that a homeless man refused to leave.
He was going to get a ride to a homeless shelter, and then he refused to leave. He was pleasant. He was conversant the entire time until right when his discharge arrived.
Jean-Michael Deskamp's seen here is that patient.
He's been evaluated medically. There's no medical problems for him. This is a chronic problem. He's not thriving chronically, but there's no medical reason for him to be here anymore.
Hospital staff heard on this body-worn camera video telling officers that the state Deskamps is in is all behavioral. Officers consider what to do and determine the jail won't take him. They plan to transport him to a shelter, moving him from the bed into handcuffs and into a wheelchair.
Let's just wheel him over by the car.
To the car?
Yeah, to my rig.
Okay.
Then I'll transport him out.
Then the officer wearing the body camera goes back inside the hospital to pick up Deskamp's discharge paperwork, capturing this interaction.
Why is he being released?
He's doing it electively. He walked in here. He walked up. He had.
Okay, we're gonna walk him to the front because we have no place to take him.
Bus station is fine.
We had him set up with a shelter, a cab to take him to the shelter, and he didn't want to leave. He wanted to stay here all night, and so that's how that went for him.
It's not really a medical problem. It's malingering.
It's not really a police problem. Yeah, it's not a police problem either. No, it's not.
It's a community problem.
Leaving the hospital, Milwaukee police placed the 26-year-old on a peace officer hold.
Hey, Gene. Gene. Yep, I got it. Okay. He doesn't look good to me.
The officers decide to take Deskamps to Unity Center for Behavioral Health in Portland, about a 15-minute drive. But as they arrive, they find him unresponsive.
I got one. I think so, yeah.
Police pull him out of the car and begin CPR. Someone calls 911. Within 5 minutes, first responders arrive on scene.
They refused care.
More than 20 minutes later,
Time of death on this is going to be 11:31 p.m.
Jean-Michael Deskamps passes away. Milwaukee officers can be heard expressing their anger at this chain of events and with the hospital.
Supervisor's like, take him back in the hospital, and they refused him. So they were like, you're going to just drop him off at a bus stop, let him freeze tonight. I mean, he's not verbal, he's not talking, he's got involuntary drool. And they're like, nope, there's nothing wrong with him. It just pisses me off. That guy does not need to be dead right now.
Providence says an internal review began immediately after Deskamp's death, and leaders at the hospital have already taken action, though they didn't say what that action was. In a statement today, they apologized to Deskamp's family and said, quote, "In this case, we fell short of our goal of providing safe, reliable, compassionate care to our patient." The statement went on to say, on behalf of all of our caregivers at Providence Milwaukee, we give you our promise we will do better. Portland police, who are continuing to investigate this case, released the ME's preliminary findings earlier this month, which indicate that Deskamp's death was likely related to a drug overdose with contributing natural causes. David?
I mean, that video is so hard to watch for so many reasons. Alma, we really appreciate your reporting tonight. Thank you. You're watching KGW News. Straight ahead at 11, breaking boundaries on the ice. Meet the 15-year-old phenom, now part of the Portland Winterhawks. And a second chance at victory as the Blazers take on the Spurs again, with hopes to redeem themselves from Thursday's loss.
I'm Matt Safino. There's been a little bit of snow falling up at Timberline Lodge. Nothing right now, down to 33 degrees. And in fact, the rain has stopped in the valley. We'll go over the snowfall, the deficit, the least we've ever seen this time of the year, and what's up with the snow that's on the way next week.